We might have seen a video from a couple of months ago of me tearing down an old horse barn with the intentions of turning it into a shop. Well, I think today's the day we start putting it back together. Well, the first thing I need to do, get that trailer full of poles out of the way. It's sitting right in the middle of the shop. Then I need to set that brush pile on fire because, well, it's right in the middle of the shop too. I have set up a couple of markers. There's one there, one right there. I'm gonna put up 2 more just so we can get an idea how big the shop's gonna be. And that's probably about all we'll do this evening because we're running out of daylight. So let me get that moved first. All right, I got 4 stakes drove in the ground. I'm standing pretty much in the middle of the shop. There's one right there. There's one right there. One right there. One right there. It's gonna be a pretty decent sized shop. It's gonna be a great big shop compared to what I'm used to, which is working in a gravel driveway in the rain and sun and heat and cold. Yeah, this is gonna be nice. But here is an issue that I'm gonna have to solve eventually. That's a storm drain. Well, it's in the middle of the shop. I got another one right over there next to that telephone pole. Well, let me go over here and show you. Well, there it is right there. And best I can remember, I just dug. I think I went right by that guy wire right there. If I did, I should be okay as far as drilling that hole in that one there. But I probably got an old picture somewhere that shows this ditch. I'll look for it and make sure I'm going to be all right. If not, then I may have to shift the building a little bit, but that's just minor details. And then that one over there in the middle, well, I'll have to wait till I get the shop built, let it rain, see where the rain's going to go, and then I'll determine where I'm going to put that one. Right now, I'm going to set this brush pile on fire and watch it burn all night, and then tomorrow afternoon, that's when my help will, be able to get here. Maybe we can at least get some batter boards up, and then I'm going to use an 18-inch auger. Those telephone poles, they're about 12 inches, so I'm going to rent, I don't have one that big, all I got is a 12-inch auger. I'm going to rent an 18-inch auger and dig all these holes. Hopefully, I don't know, this week, we'll at least have poles up and braced and may have some banding around it. I don't know, we'll just have to see. That stuff's pretty dry. Hopefully it won't take that long to burn it up. And 15 minutes later, that's what's left. I told y'all it was dry. We ain't had a lot of rain this year. Anyway, maybe we'll get started on the shop tomorrow. Well, we've started on the shop. I got 3 knotheads right over there. One of them's a nephew, one of them's my older brother. He's much older than me. And then y'all know the lovely assistant Mason. we're setting up batter boards right now. Hopefully get this thing squared up. That's probably all I'll get done this afternoon. Anyway, we'll at least get it squared up today. Well, we got the batter boards up, got the string up, got it squared up. See the red dots on the ground? That's where I got to dig my holes. With the exception of the front wall, I don't know if I'm going to use 10 or 12 foot wide doors. There's going to be 2 bay doors, an entry door over here. But I got to figure out rough measurements for these, garage doors that I'm going to use. And you might be wondering, well, why is it set so close to this little building here? That building, it's going to be gone. But it may be gone sooner than I wanted to because I don't have a whole lot of room to be nailing wood and screwing metal up. So it may have to come down pretty soon. But I'm only going to have help 2 or 3 hours in the afternoons. and time's fixing to change too in 2 or 3 weeks probably. So it's gonna be a slow going process, but hey, we'll get it done eventually. Well, I think we're gonna dig some holes today. At least I hope we do. But I need to get this truck unloaded because I need to measure that metal. I need to know how long it is so I know how deep to set my poles. You know, I'm gonna leave maybe 6 inches longer. That way I can cut it off whenever I get everything done. Anyway, let's get this truck unloaded. Well, that was probably the most fun I've had in a long time. It's so fun that I hope I never have to do that again. Anyway, I'm gonna unload the metal now. I think I'm gonna pull up a little bit and we'll lay it right there. Well, the battery run down on my camera, but as you can see, I got all the tin unloaded. I got 2 or 3 separate piles, well, I guess 4. This is junk that's been cut. This is the side, and this is the roof. I wanted them separate because I'm not going back as tall, and well, I want to be able to, you know, separate this and measure it out and figure out how tall I'm gonna go. And then roof tin, I'm gonna try to stay the same pitch, but I still need to lay a couple of pieces out and get some measurements. But anyway, I finally got it unloaded. That metal is left in the dump truck. That's from a 20 by 30 shop we tore down 2.5 years ago. Well, those are the trusses for it. I'm thinking about making an equipment shed over at Mama's if I can get her to agree to it. And I think it'll make a pretty good one, 20 by 30. Anyway, we were gonna dig some holes, but the auxiliary power on the skid steer, well, it just quit working. So I'm gonna have to back up and do something different, but we'll get it eventually. Well, I got my lovely assistant Mason on the skid steer. He's digging my holes for me. We got this whole side done already. We might set some poles today, I ain't real sure yet. Well, we got all the holes dug, cleaned them out with the post hole diggers. We put a bag of concrete in each hole. No, we don't put any water in there with them. It'll set up eventually. I know some of you know-it-alls. Y'all probably have a fit the way we build it. Well, you just have to get over it. I was wondering how we was gonna get them long, heavy poles in the ground. Well, that's how we're doing it right here. I'm gonna set the camera up and let y'all watch that. We'll get all these poles plumb, fill the holes in, and that'll be a pretty good start for it. Well, it's the next day, actually the next afternoon, and we finally got all the poles up. We worked in the dark probably an hour last night, but we got them all up, got them all braced up. They all look pretty good, except for that corner right there, that post. It's a little bit cockeyed at the top. We might be able to twist it around, get it straight, but we may end up having to pull it out. Not sure yet, but it's starting to look like a shop now. I pulled dude in there just to see, you know, how much room I'd have, and I'm gonna have plenty of room, I do believe. I was gonna have two 12-foot doors here on the front, and then probably put an entry door right here on the side. I'm still probably gonna do that. Wanna have a little weld area back yonder in that corner, maybe. Work table, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm getting excited about this now. Never had a shop. This is gonna be awesome. It's way too early in the morning for me to be up. I'm not a morning person. We're headed to Alabama first to get my trusses, and then we'll go on down to Georgia and get my garage doors. So let's hop in and get going. Well, we're on the road. I'm headed to Addison, Alabama first. That's where the trusses are. It's about 185 miles, 3 hours, maybe a little more. Then we got to head on to Temple, Georgia, I believe, almost Atlanta. That's where my garage doors are. Yeah, I hope I don't fall asleep. I'm not a morning person. I don't normally get up this early. I'm a night owl. So yeah, fingers crossed that I do not fall asleep on the way there. Well, we're 15 minutes into the trip, and yes sir, we're at a standstill. Miss Google Maps just informed me that there is a crash up ahead, 32-minute delay, so that's wonderful. We're 10 miles from Nashville. I despise going to Nashville. I don't care what time of day it is. So that'll be another traffic jam we'll hit in approximately 45 minutes. So this trip is turning out really good so far. Well, 17 years later, and we're finally rolling a little bit, doing about 45 miles an hour. That's a lot better than 2 miles an hour. Yep, I can't wait to see what Nashville holds for us. That's going to be even better. Let's just keep trucking. And here we are coming into Nashville, and it looks like it's going to be another standstill. I'm not sure that I'll ever get to my destination. This is just, well, it's ridiculous. Time to Broadway, 7 to 10 minutes. That should be about 2 minutes. So, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of wait, but at least we're rolling. I can't stand to just sit there. We were discussing that yesterday. I'll go 10 miles out of the way just to keep rolling. I can't stand sitting still. Well, it appears that Nashville traffic ain't as bad as I thought it would be. That's great, but due to that wreck, we had to sit through for about an hour. I'm not real sure that I'm going to make it to Atlanta in time to have my stuff loaded. So that's good. It's a very good chance I'll have to spend the night down there somewhere. Anyway, let's keep on trucking. Well, I finally got through all the traffic, all the cities, and then all the towns. We got about 100 miles before we get to Addison, Alabama, where the trusses are. Hopefully, if it don't take very long to get things loaded, might be able to make it to the garage doors in time. Fingers crossed. Yes, I'm crossing my fingers right now. Fingers crossed that we make it in time. We're just about out of the diesel fuels, so I reckon we ought to stop and get some. I got to wake up a little bit too. I'm getting a little bit sleepy, and that ain't good.
In 400 feet, sharp left onto the I-65 South ramp to Huntsville.
Oh, shut up.
Sharp left onto the I-65 South ramp.
I'm going to get fuel. We are, I don't know, it says Blackburn Hollow Road, maybe? I don't know where I'm at. I just know I had to stop and get some diesels, checking the trailer over, making sure I ain't got no flat tires or anything. Everything seems to be good. If I could just wake up, I'm telling you, I'm really sleepy. And we have been a whopping 85 miles or so in like 2.5 hours. Yeah, way behind. We ain't gonna make it in time. I'm probably gonna have to spend the night somewhere around Atlanta. Yeah, I ain't too crazy about that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Got me a Sprite candy bar. I'm about to fall asleep. I just took a caffeine pill. I never take those. Anyway, let's hit the road. Maybe I can get there in time. We'll see. I do believe we are in the big town of Addison, Alabama. I think another mile or two will be where my trusses are. Well, I think I'm supposed to turn here. Actually, I'll tell you what, I don't understand it, but Alabama...
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the left.
I don't understand it, but Alabama don't believe in road signs. I don't get that. What in the devil?
Your destination is on the left.
Well, it looks like we are here. I don't know where to go to get my trusses, but we are here. I think I will park right here for now. Well, we are loaded up. Hopefully they'll stay on that trailer. By the way, this is called E4 trusses. It is the cheapest within hundreds of miles of my house. So if you need trusses, well, I recommend them. Let's hit the road, go on down and get my doors, I guess. I think I got enough time to get there if we hurry. It is 11:17. It's 2.5 hours to Temple, Georgia, where my doors are. They close at 3 Central, so we've got 3.5 hours to get there. It takes 2.5. So I think we'll be all right. Hope this load of logs don't come off and hit me. What's the name of that movie? I can't think of it. Anyway, hopefully we don't have a reenactment of that movie. Look at here, I can finally pass this sucker. Bye-bye, see you later. I stopped just before I'm getting on 65 South again. Checking my straps, making sure they're good. Everything looks pretty doggone good. Should I say it? That ain't going nowhere. Had to give me some more food because my belly's growling. I'm wasting away to nothing. Let's hit the road. About 70 miles out from where I gotta be. That's about an hour or so. That'll leave us probably 30 minutes before they close. So hopefully we'll be able to get there and get loaded. I think we'll be all right. So let's just keep right on trucking. We're about 30 minutes out where I gotta be. It's about 3 o'clock. And that'll put us there about 3:30. They close at 4. I think we'll be just fine and dandly. Just checking my straps. Stopped to get some fuel because we was just about out. It wouldn't be good to be running out. Anyway, let's keep on trucking.
Take exit 19.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. Appreciate it, ma'am.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Georgia 113 South.
Well, we made it with about 30 minutes to spare. I got to get them to scoot these trusses over a little bit so I can get both them doors right here, hopefully. So let me get them unstrapped real quick. Well, I got my 2 doors loaded up. I didn't know I was going to have 4 tracks too. I guess I should have known, duh. But I ain't a fan of how I got them strapped. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on them, make sure they don't come flying out. Anyway, I'm about to starve. I'm wasting away to nothing. There's a Burger King right down the road. I'm gonna stop there and get me something to eat. Well, I just got done eating me some Burger King. I tell you what, if you ain't ate a meal all day, when you finally do, it tastes pretty doggone good. I'm just checking my straps, make sure ain't none of them come loose. We're going back, I think it's 75 to Chattanooga, and then take 24 from there. About 4.5 hours, 5 hours, somewhere in there. 285 miles, I believe. I'm a little worried about these rails. They just ain't strapped down. I'm gonna keep an eye on them. If they go to move around a bunch, I always have to stop somewhere, get some more straps. Anyway, let's hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back. Well, it's been a few months since I've done anything on the shop. It's just been too cold. I've been too busy. But we got warmer weather now, and spring's just right around the corner. So I figured, well, it's time to start working on this shop again. I don't remember where I left off with y'all, but I think I told you I was going to build my own trusses. Well, that was a lie. I found a company in Alabama that built them almost as cheap as I could. Metal costs, they started coming down. So that means the truss price come down. And I would have saved maybe $50 a truss. It's worth it to me. Let somebody else fool with it. Let them build it. Yes, sir. For $50? Yep. Sure enough will. So I went and got them. It's been, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Here they are right here. It's 10 halves. It'll be 5 trusses. They're on 9-foot centers, I believe. And also, whilst I was headed that way to get them, I went on down to Georgia and got my garage doors. They're right there. They are 12 foot by 12 foot. I think that'd be plenty big. Yes, sir, I do. Well, let me just show you what I'm doing as far as the trusses go. I got a couple of them in the garage right now. I got a couple of trusses in here because I got to weld what they call the purlin cups on. That's a pile of them right there. Let me get one of them and show you exactly where it goes and what it's for. This is the top side of the truss right here. And this purlin cup will be welded on the top of it, just like that right there. Let me get over here where the sunshine is. It'll get welded just like that right there. The reason they normally weld them on there, with a standard, I don't know, 2-foot center, whatever. Well, seeing how I tore this shop down, and let me tell you, they didn't use any kind of standard measures on the lathe. Well, I want to reuse the screw holes. I don't want new ones. I don't want to caulk the old ones because, well, that caulk, it'll come out of the holes eventually and I'll have a bunch of leaks. I don't want that. So I told them just to leave the purlin cups off and let me have them. I'm going to weld them on. So that's what I'm doing right now. And, well, let me just show you. Well, let me tell you this first. It takes 18 of these per truss. Well, they send me a total of 20 of them. Yes, sir. Sure did. So I got to try to get some more from them. Anyway, let's go back outside and I'll show you how I'm getting my measurements of where to put these cups at. Let me explain to you what a purlin cup is first. Trusses, they'll be running this way and then this way over here too. It'll be an arch. This 412 pitch. Purlin, they run this way. Be, I don't know, 2-foot center usually. That's what your tin lays on, what you screw it to. The purlin cup, it's like this, and then a 2x6 will lay down in it edgewise. Well, let me show you how I'm getting my measurements on them because, this here was not standard. I think they just threw the lathe down and nailed it pretty much. It's kind of bad, but let me show you what I'm doing to figure out my measurements where I'll know where to put those cups at. This is one entire side of the roof right here. It's 230 inches long. That's what it'll be when it's done. Well, I got me a string stretched across here, trying to get as center as I can in the screw holes, and still have the same dimension here to here, as it is down there. And that's pretty much what I'm having to do. But some of these are just so out of whack that what we're probably going to do is, the cup is like this, set the 2x6 like this, then put a 2x4 or possibly a 2x6 flat like the lathe was. That way you got a wider place to hit. You got 3.5 inches instead of 1.5 to try to hit a screw hole. That was my lovely assistant mason's idea, by the way. So y'all can thank him if it works. Well, you can blame him if it don't. But anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. I'll just move the string to each row of screw holes, and then I'm writing them down on the little notepad there. But on the other half, I've already done the first half. This row of screws right here, it was 6 inches off from one end to the other. How in the world do you get 6 inches off? I can understand half inch, but 6? Holy crap, I don't really know what I'm gonna do there. We'll figure out something. But anyway, that's what I'm doing right now. As soon as I get all these measurements, well, I'm gonna get in the garage and we'll go to welding all them cups on. Let me try to explain a little bit better what we're gonna do with this purlin cup and and the purling and what I call the lathe. Let me say this first. I am not a builder. I do not pretend to be one. I only play one on TV. Anyway, this is what we're going to do. There's purling cup. It's going to be welded to the top of the truss. Then pretend this is a 2x6. It's going to lay in here like that. Well, there'll be two ends. They'll butt up right here in the middle. Then you'll shoot screws in them, hold them there. And then what we're planning on doing, if that will stay, I don't think it's going to. But if that would stay, we're going to put a 2x4 or a 2x6 on top of it. The reason why, you got 3.5 inches instead of 1.5 inches here to try to line your screw holes up, and you know, I won't have no empty holes having to put caulk in them. That's the plan anyway, and fingers crossed that we can make it work. Well, I'm out here on the second half of the roof trying to get all my measurements, and I got my string stretched out here, and it's set at 127 inches on either end. Down there, the string is lined up with the holes pretty good. Well, look at here. That hole right there, that's a good, I'd say almost 6 inches. That there's 5 inches from the line. That there's probably 4. It's just, and then got a piece out there about the same way. It's just ridiculous. Did they let a blind man up here and put the lathe down? I don't know. This is ridiculous. The only thing I know to do on this is just get it centered the best I can. I'll have to caulk some of these holes and then put new ones. About the only thing I can do on this. I want to walk y'all down through here and just show you what I'm dealing with. This one it's actually pretty good, but well, you see the screw holes. There's one there, and there's pretty much on the line. But then I'll get to a spot right here that's too far away for a 2x4 lathe. And then you come on down here, you think, well, you scoot the line a little bit. Well, I got that one right there on the opposite side that's too far away. If I move the line this way, it's really gonna be too far away. So about the only thing I can do is leave it where it's at and caulk a hole that's far away, or use a 2x6. I don't have enough 2x6s to use a 2x6 lathe all the way across on both sides. Not sure what I'm gonna do there yet, but that's just what I'm dealing with. The fella that built this, well, I wouldn't let him build me a doghouse. Well, I finally got done getting my measurements out there on the roof. I gotta get that back in the pile because I don't want to kill all my grass. Anyway, I did some math and did some thinking also, and I think I need to use 2x6 lathe. You know, you have your purling like this, lathe like that. I think that needs to be 2x6 just to make sure that I hit all my holes. So I pulled my tarp back on my wood pile here, and I got 128 pieces of 2x6. But this pile right here, most of them are 18 foot or close to it. So this pile will for sure be used as my lathe, sitting like that. Then I'll start with this pile for my purling. That'll be edgeways. I think I'll have plenty of wood. I'm trying to do this without having to buy any wood. Wood ain't cheap. And I think as far as the roof, I'll be just fine. I got a big old pile of 2x4s here too. Let me uncover them real quick. That's a big old pile of 2x4s there. I hadn't counted them yet, but if I don't have enough, well, I'll just have to buy some. That ain't nothing major. But I'm trying to get away without buying any lumber. I believe I may be able to do it. Anyway, it's getting dark, so I might go out there in the garage. Might do a little welding, get some of them cups on. Well, I ain't got, but I can't do but one whole truss, so might do that, and then I'll be waiting on them cups. I'm marking where my cups go, and then I got the grind on either side of that because I got to weld the cups on. And that paint, I don't know, it's like road tar or something. It's a weird paint, and I'll tell you what, when you get it on you, you can't hardly get it off. Anyway, got my marks marked. I done did this one here, grinding the paint off where I weld. Once I get her ground, I'll get my cups welded on these two, and then, well, we'll be done. We'll be waiting on cups. Let the grinding begin. Well, where did my glasses go? I laid them over there. I got to step back over them. Whew. Too much like work. Well, I got my grinding done. Fixing to put these cups on, and let me tell you, I ain't really enthused about these welds. Good gracious alive. Did a blind man do this? Was he brand spankingly new, his first day on the job? What in the devil? There's one, here's a big old hole they left. There's another one somewhere. I think right here. Yeah, big old hole. What in the world? I'm got to grind them down too because the weld's sticking up and it won't set on the thing straight. And, well, I mean, look at here. That piece of angle iron is all cockeyed. It ain't square. And this is pitiful. Anyway, let me grind all this garbage off where it'll sit flat on top of the truss. Got all of them ground, flat, sorta. I already got two of them set up over here. Let me start welding all the way down this one and weld all the way down the other one. Then we'll be waiting. Tell you what I might do tomorrow. Well, part of it, let me get one of them here. Part of it is just angle iron, thin angle iron. And this channel here, that's what I'll have trouble finding, but I think I may go tomorrow, just get the metal myself and just make them myself. Yeah, be better than waiting, a week probably to get them. Anyway, let me get to welding this. Might help if I turn my gas on. Oh yeah. Well, I came over here to turn my gas on. This welder usually it's at Mama's. I brought it over here today on the tractor using the front end loader. And well, when I was pulling in here, I tilted the bucket just a little bit to get it flat. Well, guess what? She went bloop. Yep. Landed on this right here. Opened up my gas and all I heard was a psst. I broke that right there. So we're done for the night. Well, we're done until I can get a new flow meter, I guess. Well, it's been a few days since I fooled with this. I'm just working on this right now in the evenings, nights, when I got a little spare time. Still doing my regular videos during the day. So tonight I'm gonna do a few of these, or gonna try to anyway. I got me a new flow meter for my CO2 bottle on the welder. And, I was going to try to make these cups myself. Well, I called the company. I said, look, y'all didn't send me nowhere near enough. Well, there's a whole box. Got them. It took like 2 days to get them. Also, and oh, by the way, these right here, they don't go on top. I thought it was odd to have that piece of angle iron on there. When you got a piece of angle iron there, you can just set the cup on top of it without that. Well, these, she called them belly cups. She said, we sent you belly cups, not the other ones. They go on the bottom approximately like that. And they tie each truss together going this way. So, yeah, that's what they're for. There's 2 per side. So, I don't know exactly where they go. I'll have to figure that out. But, yes, sir, we got a whole box of the regular cups that go on top. So let me see if I can get a couple of these welded up. Well, my trigger quit working on my gun, so I take it apart and got some wires wanting to act up. I had to redo them. Let me get it back together. Maybe I can finish at least these 2. Well, I got one done anyway. I think what I'm gonna do is it's really rough on my knees and my back and everything else. So I think this next one over here, I got a barrel right out there outside the door. I'm gonna set it down there, and maybe that little contraption there will be down here. Set these on that so, I can at least be sort of upright, not on my knees crawling around on the floor. Let's try that. Let me get this out of here, and we'll try that. All right, I got me a barrel and one of my little sawhorses set up here. I believe this will be much, much better on my knees and back and everything else. I'm gonna weld this one up. I might try to get a couple more, and then I believe I'll call it a night, because it's pretty late. And it's a little chilly out here too. Well, that's 2 done, sort of, not really, because I forgot all about my little cups that go on the bottom. I don't know where they go exactly. I'd say, well, I ain't even gonna guess. I think I will email the company tonight, see if they can tell me measurements of where they go. The one I done took out, well, I gotta drag it back in and put them back on there too. Once I get that done, I ain't got but 4 more sets to go. Well, it's been a few weeks again since I worked on the shop. As you can see, here are my trusses. I ain't got but one of them with cups welded on it. Still got to weld the bottom cups on. If you remember, we talked about that. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Also, if you have seen the series on Dude, then you know that I said once I got done with him that I was going to stop everything and was going to build this shop. Well, there Dude is done. So it's now time to get busy on this shop. Let me go in the garage and let me show you what we're going to do right now. Well, the company sent me a drawing, a hand drawing of where those bottom cups go, but the drawing was not to scale, so I still don't really know where they go. I did look at a lot of pictures of their trusses on their Facebook page, and every one of their trusses, they got a bottom cup right here. This is the peak where they bolt together, and they got one here, and I'm not sure that it really matters, because I looked at other companies' trusses, and some of them don't even have them. And some of them, they're just, I ain't going to call them random, but, well, it don't look like there's no kind of standard. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get middle way. I'll have to measure it. I think it's going to be right here. We're going to put one right there. That way, there'll be one at the top, one in the middle, and then it'll be bolted down there at the post. I think all this is for is to keep that truss from twisting on the bottom. Yeah, I think that's all it's for anyway. And you'll keep them in line this way. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let me get my places ground so I can weld them, and we'll get them welded on this. I'll get this out here and I'll bring in a couple more. All right, the whole truss is 18 foot 6 inches. Well, a little bit less, but we'll call it 18.6. So halfway is 9 foot 3, which is right here. Well, you can see this brace will be in the way. If I move it here, this brace will be in the way. So I'm gonna come down to this one. Whatever this measurement is right here, that's where we're going to put it. And then, like I said, up here, I guess we'll just get center of this and this. Put it right there. Let me grind them spots off and we'll get them welded up. All I got to do is paint these cups so they don't rust. Get this one out of here. I'll get me a couple more in here. I think I'm going to use the tractor because these little fellas are heavy. Trying to carry them from around back to in here. Anyway, let me get that painted. belly. Well, I do believe that I got all the cups welded on all the trusses. That was not a fun job, and well, I wouldn't want to do that every day. No, sir, pretty boring. Pretty sure I will need back surgery after picking all these up 2 or 3 times. Yes, sir, that was not fun, but it had to be done. If this video seems like it's all over the place, well, there's a reason why. I started it probably 6 months ago. Hopefully, the next one will go a lot smoother, a lot quicker. We'll get a lot more done in a lot less time. I'm just very happy that I've decided to stop everything. Let's get this shop built because it needs to be done. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe. Share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur, blur.